What do you think people are doing? Like, do you think no one's dating right now? Or do you think people are still, like, trying to meet people on Tinder and FaceTiming and messaging, and then they're, like, sneaking around, meeting each other? Like, how do people getting laid? Like, people who are single and are normal playboys or, like, fuckboys, or girls who are usually on the prowl all the time, bar stars, what are they doing?
I think they're going through some hard shit right now.
Do you think they are? Yes. Or do you think they're being like, hey baby, let me just come over for 15 minutes. I won't even look at each other.
I think they're doing a lot of dick pic sending.
You think so?
Like unsolicited dick pics, that nobody wants. But
the ones that show up in your filtered messages and you're like, oh yikes.
Yeah, you're like SOS.
Grandma, don't press the filtered messages. Don't press that button.
Oh my, I don't know because I can just, now that I'm thinking about it, all of the bar stars, like the guys and the girls, they're struggling. I can tell.
Probably. All that self-validation they constantly strive for every weekend. Yeah. And the attention, none of it.
I wonder if guys are putting out thirst traps like girls used to.
What's that?
Thirst traps on Instagram when you were single, you would like post a really good picture of yourself just for like the likes.
Oh, everyone does that.
Yeah. Yeah. Even guys? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think they're doing a lot now just
It's probably just posting pictures of their trucks, being like, look at my truck.
Do you think anybody's doing Tinder right now? Like, I wouldn't be swiping Tinder in this time.
I think people are probably really bored, and they are, because they just want to talk to people and kind of like be like, oh, yeah, too bad we can't hang out because the quarantine.
That's
I think
not
people.
What I used to
I don't know. I know, but I think people are getting ready. Their rosters. They're getting them ready.
Oh, the fucking rosters.
They're getting them ready, or they're secretly meeting, or they're FaceTime. Like, do people think people are calling and FaceTiming now? Like, I don't even know, because dating before quarantine, like when I was single, was awful. Like, a lot of the scene, it was pretty bad, especially when you're younger. Like,
yeah,
but. Could you imagine going through this when you're 18, 19 in this situation? I guess you don't have to go on any terrible dates.
I guess. I don't know. Bless. That would have saved me from
quite a few.
Or a few questionable bar nights.
Oh, one time.
So I didn't really date in my 1920s.
Not really. You hung out with people at night.
Yep.
But... No, I've been on some dates where they weren't necessarily bad during the date, but then after it's just a fucking shit show. Like, we go to Twigs, have pizza, hang out, chat. Oh, I like you. I'm like, okay. So then I go home, message me right after. Oh, that was fun. We should do that again. Like, I really liked hanging out with you. I'm like, yeah, like, okay, maybe. Like, and then I just never messaged back. I ghosted him, kind of.
Oh, no.
I know. I'm sorry. That night we go to the bar, or the next day or something like that. And I think we were dancing with some guy friends. And I remember we were dancing. I was getting a little close to someone else, and he comes up and taps the guy on the shoulder that was dancing with us. And he goes, "Can we talk?" And I look over. I'm like, "Why is that guy I was on a date with at Twigs yesterday here talking to the guy that we're dancing with?" What the fuck? You remember this, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So then this is awful. So then I'm like, what the fuck? He comes to me, goes, "I'm sorry, I can't dance with you guys because you're taken." Like, being kind of funny and sarcastic, being like what? And so I said, what the fuck? I'm like, is that what he told you? I was like, we went on a date to Twigs. One date yesterday. He's like, well, that's not what it sounds like to me. Next, his roommate's being rude to me and death staring me and then telling me that that was a shitty person. And then he's like getting mad and walking around the bar, like pacing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it was bad.
When his friend got involved, that's when I was like, what the fuck?
His roommate.
Who's that girl that we hate from Too Hot to Handle?
Haley.
He was being a Haley.
He was like trying to stick up for his friend, but he had no grounds to stick up on. It's not like we were hanging out for weeks and then I did that. Like, it was one date.
Exactly.
I decided I didn't want anything after.
You didn't know his last name.
No, I have no idea.
Yeah.
And then it's always that kind of stuff. And then there was this one guy, he was in the military, that I went on a date with. Oh. We had drinks at nighttime and whatever. And then the next day, I was like, you know what? Like, I wasn't really feeling it. I don't really want to take it any further. So then he messaged me, hey, you want to hang out? Hey, you want to hang out? Like,
he was persistent.
And, like, he was saying really inappropriate things to me. Like, messaging me, like, 15, 20 messages in a row. Like, hey.
We should have known right then. Well, we did know right then.
He's like, you didn't even see it. Like, how would you know? I'm like, see what? In my head. And then I knew what he was saying. He's like, I just want to Just stick it in a little. I just want to. I'm like, what the?
He was being Harry from Haunted
He was being Harry. Yeah. He was like, you don't even know what you're missing, kind of thing. And I was like, what the fuck?
Like, hey, sorry, you're intense, and
you're intense, and I don't even really know you. And then I want to say 3 weeks ago, I'm at like the grocery store, Sobeys, just walking around, minding my own fucking business. I always go grocery shopping either 8 a.m. or I go at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night because there's no one fucking there. Of course, he was there. I feel someone. So I look back. He's in the fucking aisle.
Oh, I thought you might feel someone touching
no,
you.
No.
Oh
I feel someone's energy.
Who do I have to attack?
So I look back and I'm like, fuck. So I walk. I'm like, just go towards the freezer section because if he's going there too, then he's definitely following you. So I look back. He's not there. I walk. He's in the aisle right fucking beside. He's like walking, and then he just fucking starts walking really fast. And I was like, what the fuck? Just in generally towards me, but like not like at me. I don't think, but I don't know if he was trying to dodge me because he realized it was embarrassed, or he was just trying to get close to me. I have no idea. So he could accidentally bump into me, something like that. But it wasn't fun. I think I left there with a bag of carrots and
nothing you needed.
Not a single thing. I think I actually grabbed something I didn't need just so it looked like I was, like, I'm pretty sure I bought things I didn't even eat, like normally at all. But I've never actually been on a date where I've been like, this fucking sucks. What the fuck? But it's always been like, at the end I'm like, oh, you know what? Like, he's nice, but like, I know he'll only want to take it further, and I don't like, so nah. So then I just kind of cut it off, and then next thing you know, they go crazy.
Yeah.
They go crazy.
As soon as you cut it off, that's when they want.
Yeah, they're like, what do you mean you're cutting it off with me? And then they go crazy. Then they send me 25 messages telling me they want to stuff it in my bum or whatever the fuck he was saying. He's saying those random things. And I was like, it was just getting more intense and intense. And I'm like, oh my God, he doesn't quit.
I had 2 instances where I knew halfway through that it wasn't going to end well. And that I didn't want to pursue it. But it just, like, I didn't have time to leave smoothly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So did you just ghost? What did you do?
Well, yeah. 100%. I actually, so I made the girls, if you're listening, on any date you go to, make sure you are your own transportation there and back, because
do people let people pick them up and then they're stuck somewhere?
So in university, I had a date with this guy. So he lived on residence on campus. So I finished my 8 o'clock, like I got off the class at 8 or something. So I went over to his dorm for dinner, and I got there, and his roommates were 10 times more attractive than he was. And then he's burning the chicken for the chicken Caesar salad. So I end up making the fucking, like, he tried to serve me burnt chicken on the outside, raw on the inside. I was like, okay, no, move. And he's like, there's smoke everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck? So first of all, when he opens the door, it's smoky. And his one glass of his glasses was fogged. So I'm like, shit, like, he must be really, really bad at cooking if only one of his lenses is fogged up. Sure enough, it's not, like, it's permanently like that.
I think it's the way he breathes. He breathes upwards.
No, it was permanently like that because he has something wrong with his fucking eye.
So his eye, like steam comes out of it?
No. It, like, his glass was...
Oh, more...
Like...
He was more blind, so he had stronger lens. I thought it was fog because he breathed upwards. I thought it was his breath.
No, it was like the glass was like that.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
That's awkward.
I make dinner, and we eat the chicken Caesar salad in the room, and I'm sitting, like, at his desk eating, and he tries to put on a movie. I'm like, oh, good, like, this is one of my favorite movies. So I'm sitting there, and then he, like, attacks me, starts, like, sucking on my face after a chicken Caesar salad.
Oh.
So disgusting. So I'm like, I need to leave. And so...
How does he... And that's happened to me before, where they just start trying to make out with you, and you don't know... I don't know
It's not the mood. I don't know who you are. I'm not even sure of his name, even.
Oh.
The only reason I recognize him is because of his glasses.
Yeah, because we're not making fun of people who have trouble seeing. It's just she thought it was Steve because of the chicken, so it's funny as fuck.
And first of all, if you have that problem, great, but, like, have that at least represented in one of your Tinder photos. You know what I mean?
Your glasses?
Yeah, because in all of those other photos, she had sunglasses on or no glasses or whatever. So
she catfished you.
Far away, yeah. So then I'm like, I need to go home. I'm just going to call a cab. He's like, no, I'll drive you. I was like, okay, great. He's like, where am I dropping you off? And so my mind's like, going quick. I'm like, where am I trying to get dropped off? And I can't say McDonald's because that's a place close to my house and I worked there and I wanted to tell my friends about it. Then I'm like, okay, I'm going to get them to drop me off at my friend's house where a bunch of guys lived so that I would be safe. So I texted my friends. I'm like, I'm coming to your house. Don't ask any questions. So I got dropped off there and I ran inside and I told all my buddies all of this story. And they're like, what the fuck, Morgan? Why would you do that? I'm like, I don't know. Like, that was my first and only Tinder date for about 5 years, I think.
And you never showed up again without your car?
No, ever.
The thought of being stranded with someone you don't know and having to wait for them to drive you home.
Yeah, because what if he was like, no? Like, if he said no, I would have left.
Yeah.
But it was just horrible. So then I went.
And once I make it out of bed after eating Caesar salad and chicken.
Yeah, that was a horrible meal for him to choose.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then
I get Tinders for hooking up, and people see it that way. That's fine.
But then don't
make someone dinner and shit, because like it was probably awkward. Like you didn't have to have dinner. Like you probably like
I didn't want
none of that.
Like I went there under the impression that he was making me dinner, and I was like, okay, great. Dinner,
it's more of a date one. Yeah.
Because I was, 20? I think this was my second year of university.
Yeah, I've learned that you just have to assume that it's always a hookup for that.
So I learned after that. And that was my first and last Tinder date until last summer when I went up to Kenora. And then I got on Tinder when I was up in Kenora. I had no idea who anybody was.
Were the dates bad up in Kenora?
There was one.
Uh-oh.
It was not good.
No?
It was, I drove.
Oh,
and then this guy didn't. So he then asked me for a ride.
Okay, where would you go on a date though? Like, was it at someone's house?
We went to Casey's.
Okay.
Had a drink there, and then we went to Boston Pizza because Casey's was closing. And then we had a drink there, but he kept on going to the bathroom frequently.
To do drugs?
He was doing coke. I know this, like I'm smart, like I should have known, I should have left after the first time he went to the bathroom.
Yeah, because every time he sat down, he was probably going,
he
was like fucking touching his nose.
I had just the same amount of drinks as him, and I'm a girl, so I should have peed.
Was he hyped up?
Yes, he was really intense.
Yeah.
So then I had to drive him home, and then he's like, hey, pull, and I don't know where I'm going in Kenora, so I'm like, I hope you know where you're going. He's like, oh yeah. So he's like, hey, turn here. So I turn, and then we're down, like he's going to a hotel because he was there for work.
Did you think he was going to murder you?
You're
in the middle of the bush. Why'd you even I'd be like, you're okay to get off
No,
here.
he pulled me into like this dark road. Yeah, so, and I'm not a scared person. Like I'm 5'11". I know what I'm doing. He was shorter. I had a baton in my side.
I couldn't be in that situation.
No. But
I would have got murdered.
I had 2 knives in my, like, within reach and my baton, so I wasn't
I'd be taking out my middle straw.
So I just, like, I'm like, hey, where's the, he's like, oh, this is fine. And he starts, like, making out with me again. He tries to get on top of me in the passage. I'm like, I'm done. This is enough. So I push him off me. I'm like, and he's like, well, you don't have to be like that or something like that. I was like, get the fuck out. You can walk.
You're probably one of the first ones to stand up to him.
Oh, yeah. And he's like, I don't want to leave it like this. I'm like, you can walk. Thanks.
Leave
I'm
it.
like,
You shouldn't have started it like
exactly.
this.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like.
What a little bitch.
Oh.
Guys who are like that are little bitches.
And he was shorter than me, so I should have known.
Ugh.
I should have fucking known.
I'm not saying ugh to him being short. I just meant ugh to the whole situation.
Like, so that was that. And then, thankfully,
Jesus.
God. Because I never used, and that's when I was like, fuck, this is why I don't use Tinder. But then thankfully I went on a date with Tyler, and then I stopped going on dates. So.
Jeez, eh?
Yeah. Oh my God. Fuck. Those were my 2 worst dates though that
I've never met someone off of a dating app or anything like that, and it's worked out. It's always just been like a few day thing or a week thing, or that's it. I've always been a person that's always met people when I'm out, or like when I was at the bar or school, things like that. Yeah. I just, especially it's a really big turn off for girls, I guess, at least, when guys just are like, boom, right, trying to make out with you and stuff like that, because you're like, you don't even know if you even like me, even like you don't know anything about me. Exactly. Why would you want to put your mouth on me? I don't like. Do you get cold sores?
Yeah, like I don't know that.
I don't know that, like,
Do you have
do
any
you
diseases?
brush
Do
your
you have a child?
teeth? Like, don't know anything. Like, at least let me know you for a few days.
Exactly. Well, like me and Tyler, our first date, we were hanging out for I think like 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a great day.
Mm-hmm.
We tried to go hiking. It was raining, but like we did that. We were at a restaurant for a while.
And it makes
like,
it nicer because
awesome.
when it happens, you're like a little bit of sparks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've never once kissed someone I didn't really know, and then there's been sparks.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if the guys get it or if they're just because they're horny.
God.
But like, do you get sparks when you're that horny, guys? I'd like to let us know in the comments
Question.
down below. Just
That's
kidding,
a
please
question.
fucking don't.
For sure question.
But actually, what do you like?
I'd like to know what they're thinking.
Because I don't understand how they can be kissing you and be like this is great. It must only be for the sex part of it. Because girls aren't wired that way, even though we might have pretended we are for a while.
I think that's
Or
why
like
I never
never stood up for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like I've never once been like making out with someone I just met and then been like, this is awesome. I like him. This is good.
Like
I want to continue. It's always been like, oh, like I kind of want to stop, but I don't really want to make a problem. So let's just kind of sit here for another 20 minutes and then I'll say something.
Yeah, and like, why do we have that perspective? Like, if you're not into it, stop. Girls,
now, see,
just so you know.
well, when you're that young, I just feel like you're really impressionable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's really weird.
Like anybody younger than 25 listening to this, and you're like, yeah,
just
I've
don't
been
kiss
in that
anybody.
Situation where I thought that I wanted to be there, and then I didn't want to be there.
Leave.
Fucking get out.
Just
like,
leave.
And if they give you a problem, they're not the guy for you.
No, that's their problem.
Oh my god, it just makes me so sad to think that even me as a young woman, like I let myself be in situations I didn't want to be in.
Mm-hmm. We all did.
You have a choice,
and if you haven't, then you're raised better than I was,
Yeah.
or
you
just have more self-respect.
Yeah,
I think at that age, some people are just have more self-respect.
You don't get self-respect, I think, for a while. And I remember it wasn't a sexual experience or anything, but when I was working as a bouncer, a guy actually threw water or something in you or our friend Gabby's face, right, at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And
the whole cup of ice at me too. He was throwing it all at all of us.
Exactly. Yeah. And I confronted him after, and I was polite, and I said, if I ever hear of you mistreating a girl in my bar again, you're gonna be gone, just so you know. And he's like, how did you see it? Like, goes off on me, starts yelling at me, and he went on forever. And I'm like, okay, I understand. And I was being really polite and doing what I was told as security, just to de-escalate the situation or attempt to. And then one of my superior bouncers stepped in, and he's a big 6'7" or 6'9" guy, bald. He's scary looking. So he comes in and he's like, what's the problem here? So he takes the situation into his own hands, brings him downstairs, and are redirecting him to the ground with his fist. And he came in, the cops were called. It was a big ordeal. So he comes back in and talks to me, and he's like, Maria, you can't let anybody talk to you like that for any reason. And I just start bawling. I'm like, fuck, like I didn't know.
Why
exactly. Yeah. So then I finally calmed down, and then the cops had to talk to me about it. And then the cops asked me what happened. I started bawling again. They're like, what the fuck? Like,
that's a lot of emotions though when you have like a bunch of men.
Adrenaline.
Like, they're just like fucking screaming at you.
It was.
You did nothing. You were just confronting them on something that they did. Like they like physically assaulted people
with
like
ice.
young girls, me, like a bunch of people. Like
oh my
crazy.
God. Yeah, it was insane. But that's where I really realized that like I couldn't take any shit. Like, don't take shit just because you don't deserve to.